Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualist, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as we go along if you're enjoying the content. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, the author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy, which is the world's first ever online training centre and school for asexuals and asexuality. Welcome to tonight's Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month, day 25. If you didn't know what this is all about, I published this book in 2017, and in July I published the printed version of it, which can be got from all good bookshops around the globe. All you have to do is ask for Sandra Bellamy, quote books, and the title of this book. The links are in the description below if you want to get it online. Even the printed version you can buy on Amazon and for other bookshops online. So Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month is very much similar in theory of celebrating hi Martin, of celebrating our diversity across the asexual spectrum and our differences within it. Nice to see you, Martin. Martin is in the book, by the way. I need to pick you whenever you come on. It's not when I'm usually reading you out, but I could always see if I could yes, let's try and find Martin a minute. We've got to try and find Martin now. So this episode is all about what's so good about being asexual. Let me try and find Martin's own story. You can always make an exception. Yes. Let me find out where Martin's story is, because I've got to. I'm just going to read from the book. Story, Martin. You are on page 405. Well, hey. I should know that off the top of my head by now, really. It's like I read this book so much. There are a lot of stories, and right, 405. And I got to get to the back, because this is all about what are the positives about being asexual. So what did you say? Oh, Martin, here you go. This is Martin's story, everyone. So what are the positives about being asexual? Learned a lot more about sexuality and romantic orientation in general, and have been somewhat less confused about myself since I found out. Woo for Martin. Yes, he sometimes does some asexual videos on his channel. If you're into gaming, Martin's really good at gaming, especially Pokemon. Check out his channel. It's really good. And he did the editing for me of the UK Asexuality conference in 2018. Really, really nice person, aren't you, Martin? Otherwise known as Minky. I still haven't quite exactly worked out why you're Minky. Is that Pokemon? I think it is, isn't it? So, this is all about the positives. I totally am a great person, aren't I? Yes, I haven't seen you in ages though. It's like a year now. It was July the 8th we last saw each other last year. That was when the UK Asexuality conference was on. Seems ages ago now. So, yes, what are the positives about being asexual? Jamie James in here. The positives are I get left alone, I can be me, and I can stay safe. You see, some people who are asexual don't totally necessarily agree with that, because they think, that you kind of get a lot of people who are creeps after you, or people who are trolling you and stuff like that. But Martin's asking, no, Minky isn't a Pokemon. It's a nickname that was given to me by my friends because I like Minks. Wasn't the Asexual conference in August? No, it was July the 8th, 2018. 8 is my lucky number. That's why I remember it. It's July the 8th, 2018. Look it up. Definitely not in August. Definitely in July. Because I launched... So you're getting me thinking now. Do you think it was August? Have I got it wrong? And you're right. I got confused now. You confused me. I thought it was July the 8th. Was it August the 8th? It was definitely the 8th. Was it August the 8th? Oh, Martin, now I can't even remember. Yeah, because it was asexual. Oh, 8th of August. I'm sure it was August. August is the 8th month. I know it was the 8th. And I launched my asexualized.com site. Hang on a minute. I've got to go on my Redbubble shop now. I've got to interrupt this live stream to go on my Redbubble shop to see, because I know it said about the date it was on there, because I've still got the post up on my Redbubble shop. It seems to do quite well on there, so that's why I left it on there. And it will say, let me have a look while I'm live on the stream. Don't you just love this live streaming? I do, actually. Right, because it says on there. But you got me thinking now. Oh, it will say, because it says on the actual poster, and it's on my Redbubble shop. Oh, good. I've got 144 likes on Redbubble. 144. That is pretty good going for my merchandise on there. Yeah, I've got asexual emojis now. 8th of July, people. 8th of July. I can't show it you, can I? Yes, definitely 8th of July. If you go on to redbubble.com/asexualize, it even says Asexuality Conference London, 8th of July 2018. Yeah, I've still got it up there from last year because it just looks really good. I was right. Yes, thank God for that. I thought I was going insane, Martin, for a minute. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely July the 8th. God, oh my gosh, I was freaking out then. I thought I got it wrong. I thought I've been telling everyone it was the 8th of July and it's all over my social media, it's 8th of July. But no, it definitely is, because I double checked it and that's their original poster. So and yeah. So that's good. Yes. Asexual Perspectives Awareness Month it was, because I launched my asexualizedacademy.com exactly a year on the 8th. So Fiora's story. Yes, Fiora's story. What are the positives about being asexual? People have told me that they wish sexual attraction wasn't such a distraction for them. So I guess one positive thing is that I don't have to deal with that. I think that's really true, actually. I think people get so distracted in life by sexual attraction. However, because I am a hyper romantic asexual, I admittedly get very distracted by romance. Very, very distracted by romance. But sometimes I can actually feel good though if I'm romancing myself. So like I'm working on my fibromyalgia book and it's going to be out soon in Kindle in the next few days, because the publishing company that's in talks with me about publishing my next asexual book, they're still in talks with me about that, but they don't want to publish my fibro book with themselves because it doesn't fit in with their titles, and I was going to publish it under my own imprint anyway of Quirky Books. And I've got an asexual who contacted me today, who watches this channel, hello, you know who you are, who's possibly got fibromyalgia. So and I know there's 2 other asexuals waiting for the book. So yeah, I'm literally doing the table of contents for it tonight. It should be out like any day now, you know, as soon as the table of contents finished, final once over, and then it'll be out on Kindle. Printed version will take a little bit longer, but you know, while I've been doing that, I've been listening to some like love music, but it's like Higher Love, you know, Stevie Winwood, I think it's called, bring you know, Higher Love, and you know, some more upbeat love tunes. So I've been romancing myself, but I do think romance is a very big distraction. So if you are a person who doesn't experience romantic attraction, I think you've got a double whammy of being great, because you're asexual and aromantic, means you don't experience sexual attraction, you don't experience romantic attraction, and I think that's wonderful because you've got even less distractions. Whereas for me, I have to admit that romance is just so full on distracting. Especially when I you know, like I want a romantic relationship. It's quite difficult, but it's good. You know, I think well, theoretically you should be able to make better judgments if you haven't got sexual attraction, but in my case, because I've got hyper romantic attraction but not sexual attraction, I think that can be just as hard sometimes in some ways. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm hyper romantic over loads of guys, it just does my head in sometimes. Right, so what are the positives about being asexual? This is a non-story. We prove love can exist in all different forms. I love this story, even in previously unfamiliar ways. We are different. Oh, hi, Heather. Sorry, I haven't said hello to you. Lots of love to you. Oh, I haven't. I should really say love to Martin too, but he might get the wrong idea because he's a guy. But anyway, love to you, Martin, too, because you're amazing. And Heather's amazing. Love to all of you. Yeah, so I really love this. You know, we prove that love can exist in all different forms and even in previously unfamiliar ways. We are a different breed that offer unique presence and perspective to this thing we call life. And to be honest, it's kind of cool being able to say I belong to the 1%, like we're the redheads of the sexuality world. And I think it's really, really, really good. You know, I think it's great that that you know this is so positive because we can love in different ways. We prove it all the time, and I think you know that's really remarkable that we're able to have that type of feeling that others don't experience. You know, I think personally, having been in heterosexual relationships for half my life and then now in more of that asexual world, if you like, because I spend more time with asexuals, you know, I hang around them more, I talk to them a lot more than sexuals in general these days. Most of my friends are asexual now. You know, I feel so much better. I feel so much more comfortable. I think asexual love is the purest love you can ever get. I'm biased, but I don't mind admitting I'm biased. I just think it's so much more pure. And I think you can get that really deep soulmate connection because I think that asexuals, they tend to love on an emotional level. And in order to have a really good, healthy, loving, happy asexual relationship, you've got to have a very, very deep emotional connection, a best friend aspect to you. Because if you don't, it's not going to work. You've really got to be like bestest ever buddies, share your secrets, just really understand each other on a fundamental, really deep level. And I know, you know, some sexuals can do that, but I think there's a lot less sexuals that can do that because I don't think they have the depth of feeling that we automatically skip the sexual attraction. So therefore it kind of defaults back to the fact that we do need an emotional connection because that's our asexuals love. Do you know what I mean? Not, you know, I mean, I know demisexuals, they cannot experience sexual attraction unless a deep emotional bond has been formed. Same with a demi-romantic, they cannot experience romantic attraction until a deep emotional bond has been formed. However, all asexuals, in my personal opinion, if they're developing a love type of relationship, then they love through a deep emotional connection, and therefore it has to be maintained and sustained in order for that relationship to carry on. Whereas with sexuals, because of the sexual attraction, if there's upset and pain, if the relationship isn't going so well, it's like, oh, we can just have sex, that'll sort everything out, which it doesn't. It just patches over problems. But you know, I mean, they can technically they can feel closer to each other again physically, but that doesn't stop the problems that they're avoiding discussing. Whereas when you've not got a sexual attraction, you can kind of like, it's more imperative that you become best friends. You know, it's more imperative that you have a deeper soulmate connection because you will notice it more if things aren't so happy or good, because you won't have the sexual attraction to patch things over, if you know what I mean. So you will have to keep each other a lot more happier on a deep emotional friendship based level in order for that asexual relationship to be sustained, maintained, developed and grow and to continue being healthy. Otherwise, you know, you won't survive as an asexual couple. And that is why, you know, so I have come across some people that were with an asexual. I haven't met them in person, but I've met them online. You know, what did Heather say? I find heterosexual men are players. Yeah. The majority sadly are, Heather. And in the modern dating world, it doesn't help because basically you can just swipe across 100 people, women, obviously if they're heterosexual men, they can just swipe across 100 women, and a lot of it's to do with ego. A lot of it is not about a deep emotional connection. It's not about getting a level of soulmate. It's not about a best friend. A lot of heterosexuals are on dating sites literally for their ego being stroked 24/7. It's like, how many women find me attractive? How many women will like my picture and speak to me? And they could be speaking to like 20, 30, 40 women a night, and they're just going between all of them, messaging all of them. They might have a couple of phones between them. I mean, when I was on plentyoffish.com for 10 days, that was bad enough. And I was trying to find an asexual Indian guy. I mean, to be fair to me, I was trying really hard to do that, but it just gets to be a waste of time. Like 4 hours later, and you haven't even found anyone, and you just, there was these two guys on there, coloured guys in the UK, and they were brothers. And one minute I was talking to one of them, the next minute I was talking to the other one. And I didn't even realise they were two different people, because he goes, "Oh, I'll get my brother because he's younger, because you like younger guys, right?" Which I said. And it's like, but I'm asexual. They weren't listening. And then some of the time they used to switch back to the other guy, and all they're doing, and they used to keep in contact with me a lot. So I was quite glad my profile disappeared, And it's like, I mean, they were trying to be nice to me. They weren't being nasty. That's the thing. They weren't being really horrible. So it's kind of like, but they are players. A lot of them are players. I have to agree with you, Heather. There are a few that aren't, but there are some good guys, but a lot of the good guys are the ones that the majority of them tend to be married with children, in my opinion. They tend to be more family orientated. If it's someone like me who's trying to look for a guy who doesn't want children, the majority of the guys that don't want children, or they don't want to settle down because they don't want commitment, because they want to play the field. So I think it becomes harder as a female if you're trying to find a good guy for you, for a relationship, because a lot of the time, unless they're wanting kids, and a lot of asexuals, there's quite a big proportion of us that don't want kids. If we were to try and go and be with a sexual person, that a lot of those type of people that say they don't want kids as well, the majority of them, it's not they don't want them, it's like they'll want them later on when a person can give them sex usually. And they're at the stage in their life where they just want to play the field. They want to go out. I mean, I go out clubbing, but not for sex. But they want to go out clubbing for sex. They want to be texting loads of women. They want to be out dating, playing the field. Having a laugh, having one night stands and stuff. And so you can't really take them seriously, and it's sad, because there are a few good guys out there, and they're just like slipping through the net. No one can even hear them. The guys that play just drown their voices out, and the ones that are really kind and caring and are the ones that are more shy, the less macho guys, the ones that don't want that ego stroking, the ones that are quiet, that are around the world thinking, "Oh, well, I can't really get a girlfriend," because they haven't got the social skills that all the players have. However, they would be a better fit for some people, because they'd be more serious and kind and caring and really want commitment. And I think as well, it's difficult for asexuals, because there are quite a lot of asexuals, I'm sure, that are quite quiet and shy, and you do need a certain amount of social skills, or certain amount of communication skills, in the very least, to be able to like be on asexual dating sites and really try and pursue a relationship. I mean, I'm happy being single, but I'm also very serious about getting a good guy for me for a relationship in the future. I would like one. I'm not going to be I'm not going to say I don't. I'm serious when I say that, but it isn't happening. I don't know if it will ever happen, but I'm hopeful that one day it will. But right now I'm happy being single. It's much more important to be single and enjoy your life. And to be honest, I'm at the moment, I'm just really into book publishing, writing more books. I'm really happy I've gone back to doing that, because I feel a lot better in myself whenever I'm not writing now. I can tell the difference. When I write, I'm really happy. When I'm not writing, I'm not happy, Make sure it's that. Yeah, I'm loud enough for you, aren't I? So anyway, Martin and you are good people. Oh, thank you, Heather. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I can't say we're not good people, because I would be lying, because I know we're good, but you're good as well. You support this channel all the time, because you said you're not asexual, but you support this channel constantly. That's really, really kind of you. I love looking and being, like Heather's my favorite, like fan, I think. I agree, Heather. Same about you, Heather. Oh, yeah, we're all good people, really good people. Let me read a few more out, because I think it's really important to highlight the good things about asexuality, because there's so many people that feel quite bad about being asexual. They're unsure of it. Some of them are still like kind of not out. Some people are shy about it. Some people are reserved. Some people think they can't tell anyone because, you know, like that, you know, people will like, you know, frown upon them. So it's really important to highlight the good points about asexuality. So this is David's story, which is a good one as well. What are the positives about being asexual, David? I think I am a more self-sufficient person as a result of being asexual. I'd really strongly agree with that. I'm comfortable with my own company. Potentially, as an asexual, you can be less concerned how you come across to other people. You are not competing with anyone. You don't feel pressured to look or act better than anyone else. And I think that really relates back to what Heather was saying, you know, about heterosexual men, a lot of them being players, because, you know, they when you're in the heterosexual kind of world, you are more bothered about appearances. Heather, I feel that I've never had a relationship, so I come here to feel normal. Oh, bless you. Oh, you are normal to us. You're amazing. Actually, you're more than normal. You're super intelligent, very creative. I love your artwork. You know, and you're just amazing human being. You know, you're part of the elite 1%. Yay! Even if you're not asexual, you're still with us anyway. You're amazing. You know, and you're really awesome, and I really thank you for supporting this channel, because, you know, it means a lot to me, because you know, if I have people to talk to, it's better for me than just talking into a camera to myself all the time. I know people watch the show afterwards because they can't always tune in at this time, but, you know, you can't really get time to please everyone, so everyone's doing different things. So yeah, so I think, you know, I do agree with David that I think you can be more self-sufficient. I think you have to be. I think as an asexual, predominantly there's more asexuals. You keep me grounded, Heather. Oh, that's a nice thing to say. Love you, bless you. That's really sweet, Heather. I think you can, as an asexual person, be a lot more self-sufficient. I think you have to be, because I think a lot of asexuals are single. I think there's tons of asexuals that are single. It forces you to really be on your own. It forces you, like, especially if you don't live with your parents, it forces you to enjoy the single life, to embrace it, to be in the moment, to look after yourself, to go out on self dates. Oh, if you can give this video a thumbs up, by the way, while I'm thinking about it, it would help me out as always. So it keeps me, you know, it does keep you grounded being asexual, you know, and it does mean that keeps you grounded being asexual. I'm taking your words now, Heather, aren't I? But it's true. Like you say, I keep you grounded, which is lovely, but I think asexuality keeps you grounded as well, you know. And I do think that it's, you know, like they say in here, you know, I think you're not so worried about what you look like because you haven't got to go out and have sex. Whereas people that have sex, you know, they're buying like Ann Summers lingerie, they're buying sexy clothes, they're trying to buy sexy lingerie. I couldn't even stand being in sexy lingerie. I don't wear sexy lingerie. I like so allergic to things on my skin that I can't wear lacy stuff next to my skin. I'd come out in a rash. Not that I want to be naked anyway, but can you imagine it? I have lacy and come out in a rash, and, you know, like, I don't really want to do anything physical. Not that I really want to do anything physical anyway, but if I wanted to do anything that was physical but not to do with sex, do you know what I mean? It's like, well, if I'm getting rashes from lace and stuff, the last thing I want to be doing is having someone touch my body or looking at it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm a white pants girl. I just thought I'd share that with you. But you know what I mean? That's why I am sweet and innocent. White is a symbol of sweet and innocence in films, if you didn't know, because I studied film studies at college. And white is to do with innocence. Do you know what I mean? So they usually put someone in all white dress if they're meant to be playing a really innocent character, or they're having a moment of being innocent, even if they're not through the rest of the film, like a film noir. I study film studies. I do love film studies, actually. It's very, very interesting. So I'm going to read a couple more. Marnie's story. Right. Marnie's story. What are the positives about being asexual? Well, now there are no worries of my husband being jealous of other men. He knows no matter how hard they try, I will never be sexually attracted to him. So if you follow Marnie's story in this book, yeah, she had a husband, and because he wasn't feeling sexual attraction from her, he thought she was going having her sex elsewhere than men. And then when she explained she was asexual and he really understood it, then, you know, he no longer felt jealous of other men because he was like, well, she can't feel sexual attraction for anyone. So all the guys that come around her, she's just not going to be interested in, you know? So I think that's really good. And I want to end with Joe's story. So what are the positives about being asexual? I guess I don't have to worry about disease or heartbreak if a partner cheats. Also, I believe that previously sexual energy can be better channeled into greater strengths. Now, I just want to talk about that for a minute because obviously, you know, it says or heartbreak if a partner cheats. You can get asexuals that do cheat, and they're not cheating in obviously having sex with other people unless they're on the more sexual end of the spectrum. It could still possibly happen. But you know, they can be still cheating, you know, and people are like, well, asexuals can't cheat, but it's not actually true because they can cheat emotionally. I mean, for example, if I have very strict boundaries with my friends, right? Any friends I don't fancy, anyway, put it that way. So if I've got a romantic interest, I'm dating a guy and I like him as a friend, obviously, but then I want to be more than a friend and we're thinking about being more than friends together, that might be a bit different because we're kind of at a dating scenario. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you're dating, you tend to be a bit more like, you know, doing dating stuff. But, you know, with my just friends, I'm not, they're just my friends, you know, I have very, very, very strict boundaries. And, you know, if you want to know a way a person who's asexual can cheat, you know, if they develop feelings for one of their other asexual friends and they're in a relationship and then they act on those feelings and the other person does, you know, and they start kissing each other, for example, and cuddling each other when they're supposed to be in a relationship with another asexual, then that's still cheating. Just because sex isn't involved doesn't mean to say it's not cheating. And, you know, to have this kind of mentality that, oh, right, if someone doesn't have sex with someone else, they're not cheating. You know, that's not actually true. Yes, they're not cheating physically with sex, but they can still be cheating in other ways, you know. Some asexuals do like doing sexual acts, you know. You have to face the fact that some of them do. And just imagine if two asexuals who were supposed to be just friends, and they, you know, they're like, there's two asexuals, for example, that have a partner, you know, they're partnered with each other, and then they have their own friends, and one of those partners has a friend that then fancies them. And so they then do stuff with them. Maybe they do sexual acts with them. Or like I said, maybe they snog them. You know, that is still cheating. Because they're not being, if they're in a monogamous relationship, obviously some people are polyamorous, so they're openly kissing and cuddling, having sexual acts with other people, right? So that can be a thing, you know. But if they're monogamous, you know, then they're cheating. You know, I don't know why people think that just because sex is involved, that people can't cheat still, you know. Sometimes emotionally cheating, you know, even within sexual relationships, some people can emotionally cheat within sexual relationships, and some sexuals feel that the emotional cheating is worse than the physical sex cheating because the deep emotional connection they have can be very, very long lasting, whereas the sex can just be like one time or a few times. It's like there and done. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the emotional connection goes on and on and on and on and on. So some sexuals could in fact get jealous of asexuals in the sense that, you know, if the asexual is best friends with their asexual partner and they're sexual, it can happen. I know of a guy a long time ago who was in an asexual group, and he got close to this woman who was, I think she was married, and her husband was very upset and jealous because he had this deep emotional connection with her, and he was there phoning her and messaging her, and they were like best friends. And he considered that like cheating. And I do understand his point of view. You know, you have to understand that cheating's not just limited to sex. And I think that's a great travesty if all people think about is sex is ultimately, you know, the only cheating. You have to be, you know, you should be very, if you're in a relationship, you should be setting boundaries with other people. You should already have them in place, really. I find it very difficult in the asexual community because we're not sexually attracted, the majority of us at all, and because you know asexuals are considered, you know, as for the main not having sex, then it's like, you know, it's like, well, that person is fine. They're okay, you know, they're never going to cheat, that everything's fine. And I find boundaries, a lot of the things that because I'm romantic, I have strict, like I said, strict boundaries. I don't kiss and cuddle my friends. It's off the table. Doesn't happen, you know, doesn't happen. It's not going to happen, because that's something I do with a romantic partner. I think other asexuals would, you know, I know other asexuals that have, you know, thought it's okay to cuddle other people like their friends, you know, outside of a relationship. It's fine to cuddle their friends. Some people share a bed, you know, and if it was a sexual person doing that, it'd be like horrific. Do you know what I mean? People would be like, what on earth are you doing? Sharing a bed or that with your friends. It's not on if you're in a relationship. Do you know what I mean? Whereas with an asexual person, it seemed like, well, if sex is not involved, it's fine. Why is that any different? Do you know what I mean? If you're not having sex, you're still sharing a bed, you're still sharing your personal space. You might even be sharing your like naked body in front of them. Do you know what I mean? But I know it's difficult as well with aromantic asexuals and romantic asexuals, because we've both got kind of different mindsets. The romantic asexual, for example, some of us have very strict boundaries with friends because we clearly define these things are what you do in a romantic relationship. These things are what you do with friends. But with an aromantic asexual, those who lack romantic attraction, sexual attraction, they don't really know if they're being romantic. Some aromantics can be very, very romantic, and they can flirt with their friends without realizing it, because they're like, I'm not a flirt. You know, like an aromantic asexual would not think they were flirting. They would not think they were saying anything that could entice a person to think otherwise of them other than a friend. But that's the thing with aromantic asexuals, they can be very oblivious to how it makes the other person feel when they speak, because an aromantic asexual sees everyone as best, you know, like all their close friends as best friends, and they can be close to their best friends, and they can say stuff that they might just mean they're being kind to the person, they're being nice to the person. Whereas to a romantic person, it might seem like they're flirting with them, they're being over friendly, they're being like in their personal space because they fancy them. Do you know what I mean? And this is how the aromantic and aromantic asexual and romantic asexual can vary very much in mindset and in boundaries. You know, it's like I don't know if I could ever be with someone on the aromantic spectrum. Obviously, I don't know if they could ever be with me because I'm hugely romantic for a start. But you know, say it was a demi-romantic person, you know, and they were romantically attracted to me, then that might be different, you know. But I would still be a little bit apprehensive about, you know, like if they were saying stuff to me that I found quite flirtatious and things, but I think it would be their normal talk, then obviously people who come into their life who are new in their life constantly throughout the years, they could be given the wrong impression to. If I'm in a relationship with them, other people could be seeing them as flirting, even though to them they're not, they're just being their normal self. And I think that's what can be very difficult, you know. And a lot of aromantics, you would have to literally spell it out to them that you fancied them or wanted a relationship with them, because aromantics don't tend to think about people wanting a relationship with them in general. They don't tend to think, oh, this person in front of me is a romantic asexual and I think they fancy me and want a relationship with me. You kind of have to spell it out to aromantics, you know, and say, look, I like you more than a friend. Because they were, you have to be direct about it, you know. And so I think, you know, that dynamic is very different. And I think, you know, like the asexual aromantic kind of like community within the asexual community and the romantic community, they can be they can be doing the same sort of things, but one would be romantic exclusive to a romantic relationship, the other would be like amongst their friends, and they don't know any different. They don't think there's anything wrong with it. And in the aromantic world, there isn't anything wrong with it because that's normal for them. But in the romantic world, it'd be like you're being over friendly, you're being flirtatious. You know, I've known a demi-romantic as a demi-romantic guy I've been speaking to in the UK for a little bit recently, but I knew a demi-romantic as well in another country. And I honestly thought he fancied me because he was messaging me every day. He kept saying, I love to read you, Sandra. So he seemed really enthusiastic about talking to me, about messaging with me. We even video chatted once. And then when I even suggested, because he said he was going to come over and see me, which never happened, but he said, oh, I'm going to come over and see you. And I got the impression that he really liked me more than a friend. And then when I even suggested, well, I didn't, I asked him outright, do you like me more than a friend? And he said, no, I don't know whatever gave you that idea. And then he basically pretty much stopped talking to me. I've had a few, I don't know, that was over a year ago. And I think I've had like 5 messages from him since then. I think most of them I instigated. You see, and it's like, well, to a romantic asexual, if a guy's messaging you every single day and a guy's video chatting with you and a guy's showing deep interest and like creating emotional connection with you and talking about coming over from his country to see you, to a romantic asexual, that is like, well, you must really fancy me if you're doing all that stuff for me, But for an aromantic asexual, some of them would just do that for their friends because it's being friendly, it's being nice. They like someone's a mate, so they want to have the mate in their life all the time. They want their mate in their life regularly. They kind of like very close to their friends. And so to them, it's normal behavior. But to a romantic, it can give a very wrong impression to them. So, even though it's not a wrong impression to the person, the aromantic, because it's like they're just being themselves. So I think that's why it makes it very tangled, within the asexual community when you're talking about relationships. But, the positives are that, we are asexual. We do have the ability to love in much, much deeper, different ways. And that includes aromantics loving their friends as well as romantics, loving people in a romantic relationship, And I think obviously aromantics are a very big example of how you can love in many different formats other than sexual and other than romantic even, They've got like kind of like really pure love in the sense that they don't need sex, they don't even need romance, it's kind of they just love people, not everyone I wouldn't say, but they love their friends, so I think asexuality, this general thing, is really, really good. I'm really proud to be asexual. We're 1% of the population. I do think we have such great insight into the world in which the general sexual population doesn't have. And I think that's something to be embraced. I think we should all be embracing our asexuality. We should be really pleased that we're different to the rest of the globe, that we're able to see things in a different way. We're able to see the world in a completely different light. And we're able to be our own superheroes of the world, the ace world. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much to Martin and Heather. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever's given me the thumbs up. I hope you both give me a thumbs up because Martin was in this, so he should give me a thumbs up, and Heather usually gives me a thumbs up. So thank you so much, Martin. Love you lots. And thank you, Heather. Really nice to speak to you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. Till next time, embrace your quirky and each other. Thanks for the thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. Bye, Martin. Speak to you again. Bye, Heather. Take care. Love you.